doom scrolling is completely rotting your brain, but here are a couple of activities you can do to offset that, and we'll be ranking them on how much they can offset your doom scrolling and potentially how much they can better your life. So first of all, this is a powerful one, reading. This is like you know how brain rot is just ruining your brain and doesn't add any particular value to you? Reading is the complete opposite. It's what I call brain gourmet, or, a delicious brain food. How brain rot is a fast food that's destroying your life. Reading is like healthy food, like a salad for your brain. So this is what you should be doing, reading. There's no excuse not to read. Even if you're poor, even if you can't buy a book, there's just thousands upon thousands of PDFs out there that you can read for free. Most old books you can read for free on the internet. But you need to be reading. Astrology, it's all right. Astrology, to be getting into astrology instead of looking up astrology, but I still think it's kind of not really. I don't see any real proof around it. For me, it's just a lot of pseudoscience, I suppose. So probably either F or D tier. Probably D tier. Mycology. So this is like studying and hunting for mushrooms and for fungi and stuff like that. Going around and collecting stuff and putting it in your bag and cooking it up later. I mean, it's good. Honestly, it's good. It gets you out. It lets you observe the natural world, how beautiful our world is. It's a pretty good thing instead of doom scrolling. I think a B tier. I think astronomy, in my opinion, it's pretty boring. It's just looking at these planets. But for other people, I think it's a pretty good one too. Whatever gets you out. Hiking is an absolute S tier. Just being in the natural world away from screens as much as possible, in my opinion, is the best thing you can do to sort of recalibrate your mind. And this doesn't necessarily, we have hiking here, but this doesn't necessarily have to be hiking. But just going out for a nice 15-minute walk can really recalibrate you and get you back to your senses. This has really helped me. Bouldering, it's sort of there's nothing wrong about bouldering, but I feel that the problem with bouldering is that it's indoors, and it kind of takes away that nature aspect of it. But if you like it, you like it. Yeah. Pole dancing, yeah, fuck that shit. No, no, I'm not touching pole dancing. Yoga, yoga is pretty good, I think, to calm down the nerves. A lot of guys, they disavow yoga. But what yoga pretty much is just a meditation, but with your body. It's another type of sort of exercise. I don't think it's good for, that mental aspect, but I don't think it's too good for, let's say, the physical aspect of it. Like, you won't see any real improvements to your body except for, becoming more lean, becoming more supple. I suppose I'll put it in C tier. Powerlifting, powerlifting is pretty good. It's nice to lift heavy objects and then putting them back down. It's a natural thing that's good for you. I suppose that hiking is a little bit better because you still get that nature aspect. So if there's some way somehow you have a garden and you powerlifted your garden, that for me is a 10 out of 10. Absolute no problems with that activity. Instrument, grinding away on an instrument is also kind of at the same time, it's a sort of meditative process, if you will, because once you learn an instrument, it actually takes a lot of time and skill to really get into, and it's very frustrating. And you could use it, in the future, for whatever purposes. The only problem is, unless if you are becoming a musician or you want to work in sound or whatever domain that is, it doesn't really have much practical use. I mean, you can play at parties and you can be very successful with the ladies with a technique like that, but I feel like there's so much more that you could be doing with those hours, in my opinion. I would say it's a B tier. I mean, like, like I don't want to be an asshole. I'm a C tier. I don't want to be an asshole, but a lot of people say that learning the violin will make you smarter. I don't believe that. I just think it's an activity. It's nice. It's getting you away from the screen, which is whatever gets you away from the screen, whatever gets you away from doom scrolling, in my opinion, is good. But I don't know. Linguistics, though, I think can actually have a practical use. At the same time, you can learn. Most of the time, you will learn linguistics to to when you go to a new country to actually be able to converse. I think actually I might put linguistics as A. It just opens your mind to a completely new world. When you play a video game and you buy a new DLC map and you just unlock this completely new playable area, or people you can talk to, you NPCs. That's the same thing in linguistics in a sense. You know how to speak the language, and generally when you learn a language, you also learn a little bit about the culture. And what this does, it completely unlocks a new playing field on the map, and you could be in that life. It's like having almost a second life. And I'm fortunate to be born with two languages, English, obviously, French, and it's so weird. It's almost like having a second brain, having a second personality in a way. I might sound a little schizophrenic. I might be going off topic, but yeah. Cooking, yeah. I think this is another A tier. I think we're gonna put it here. I think we're gonna put cooking in A tier. It's very, very, very good. I don't have any problem. I don't think I think you learning how to cook could be a very useful thing. It can be. No, actually, I don't. I might put it S tier. Yeah. Knowing how to cook well and good food and knowing exactly what you're putting in your body is not only good for you, but good for the people around you. You could cook them actually good meals. You could save so much money. I think it's an actual genuinely a good skill to have. It's very, very practical. Planes, flying around with planes and everything like that. It's good if you know how to fly planes and everything like that. It is useful, but it's quite niche in its usefulness. For me, it's more of a fun activity, like a sort of an instrument. It is practical, but it's still very niche in its usability. Marijuana, obviously F tier. I mean, marijuana can have good uses, but as an activity, it's not much better. It's F tier, obviously. Woodworking. Woodworking. So woodworking, I think is nice. It's very nice to learn how to use, let's say, wood, and how it gets you a deeper appreciation of what you use. If you use wood, let's say on yourself, or you give it to a friend, you could actually have a tangible thing you could see and use. I think it's a very, very good thing. I think one of my subscribers is actually really into woodworking. I think it's a pretty meditative thing, and Jesus was a carpenter, so I still can't put it above B tier because it is still very niche. I mean, let's be honest. Anything that's above D tier, in my opinion, it's a good and healthy thing to do. It's just depending on the nicheness. Let's say reading is, if you learn how to read. Rather, if you read books, it's not the thing about reading. It's not really a hobby. It's more of a way of gathering information. It's a way to improve your other hobbies. Like if you read a book on business, it's a way to improve your business. If you read a book, let's say on powerlifting, it's a way to improve your powerlifting. If you read a book on cooking, it's a way to improve. So it's more of a bonus to improve your skills. But the thing about hiking, and the hiking, it's sort of, for me, it's a good thing too. And cooking, it's just so useful. Same with linguistics. But these things are much more niche, even if they're good. Hopefully you go what I understand. Jeweler. Still, it's very, very niche. It's very niche. Yeah, I'll put it in D tier. Can collecting, yeah, F tier. Because the can collecting, I have no problems with collecting cans per se. I used to do this. But once you collect like monster, that means you need to go and you need to buy monster, and nothing that you really get out of a can most of the time, unless if it's like kombucha or water, is not going to be good for you. Either that it's beer, just none of it is good for you, and you shouldn't be collecting this shit. It's like showing off. It's like collecting more hours in doom scrolling, right? We all know you came for this channel for fucking the doom scrolling hate. It's like being proud of the shit that's bad for you, right? It's not a good thing. It's fantasy football. I'll put it up here. I mean, it's not the worst thing. By the way, yeah, Paul that's got putting up because it's just at least it's something. At least you're doing something right. I don't know. It's still a little awkward. It's a little off, but whatever. Fucking fantasy football is a game, in my opinion. It's entertainment. It's a nice hobby, but there's no real skills involved there at all. It's betting pretty much, from what I understand. Drawing. Okay, drawing, I'm putting it C tier, okay? Calm down. Actually, no, if I put woodworking, I'll put it with woodworking. Nah, it's... I know it's not really that niche, but the usability of drawing is very, very limited. I think in the real world, unless if you find a way to somehow monetize it, which is very hard to do with drawing, very hard to sell art, especially in our day and age, with AI and computer graphics. It's very hard, but it's still a good hobby, and there's no shitting on it whatsoever. Same with painting, I suppose, but the same thing with painting. DJ. DJing. I think I'll put it with D tier still, because making music on its own is a good thing. It's nice to know how to make music. I would put that on its own. If it was just making music, I would probably put it with painting and drawing. But the thing is that when you're around DJing, when you have to be around DJing, you're obviously surrounded with other people who are, let's say, the less frivolous. Let's just say that no Marcus Aurelius, no Socrates is hanging around any DJ party. I don't want to be an asshole, but it's the truth. Golfing, great way to start networking. It's still very niche. Yeah. But what I say, it doesn't have to be necessarily a bad thing to be in here. It's just, I'm saying out of the world, like overall, how is this useful, right? Surfing. I'm putting it up here. Because once you know how to master the wave, once you know how to use the power of the currents coming from the moon, that's a really impressive skill in my opinion. And it's cool. It's very cool. Very attractive, by the way, as well. Trades, I never got trades. I never got these weird being like specialized in a certain thing. Like I never really got it. Like there's a bunch of people who like whatever. I have a bunch of like uncles and stuff like that. I'm not knocking them, But whenever I hop on a plane, like they know exactly every single detail about the plane. Oh, this is a Boeing 757. This was actually no, it's not a Boeing 757. It's a Boeing 758. And then they check out these little specific, like these very niche things. Like you're broke. No, I'm joking. I'm sorry. It's very niche. Very specializing in that one particular thing, which if you can find a way to monetize it, like go ahead. Like if you want to, I don't know, like find a way to monetize like trades and like become a trades engineer, that's perfect. But still, on the broader society of your broader life, it's not that useful, unless if you are, of course. Martial arts, S tier, obviously S tier. Using to know your body and how to use it against other people, not necessarily even for fighting, but the mentality shift that it does for you is really good. I think everybody should learn at least one martial art. I include boxing in martial arts. I include Krav Maga, Jiu-Jitsu, whatever, just anything. We could hate about specificities, we can hate about the details, but martial arts is something that's just so useful, just in general. And you know, even if it comes to that event, you have confidence in yourself that you can be able to defend yourself. It just gives you a confidence that's unparalleled with any other activity, in my opinion. I think it might be better. It might be better than reading. Might be. Baking. Okay, the thing about baking is when you bake something, unless if you're really, really good at it, you're kind of going to make something a little unhealthy. So, I don't know. We're going to put these alcohol things over here. You know, I suppose. Fishing, I like fishing a lot. Using the currents of the ocean to be able to catch food. Like, that's a thing that's very primal and will... You know, most of the time you won't be in a fishing situation, but it's also very meditative, and I think it's a good thing in my opinion. B. Calligraphy. I'm very biased because I have extremely poor handwriting. Extremely poor. I never really got it. I never really got the thing of calligraphy, especially now that we live in let's say, a digital age. You know, we're obviously not supposed to use our technology, but, you know, to type up words, to type up stuff like that, for me, there's no problem with that. I don't think it's that useful. Like, once you get to the point that you could understand what this person is writing, like, after that stage, or learning how to write in general, for me, that's all you really need. Like, I don't know, maybe that's just my opinion. I don't really care for, like, these elegance... becoming like having like elegant handwriting, presenting yourself as an elegant person. For me, that doesn't really matter in life, in my opinion. So all these special things about calligraphy, I don't think it's that useful, in my opinion, once you get past the point of understanding what you're saying. Sewing, let's put it with painting. Crochet is wet as well. Bird watching, I'm going to put it literally right under fishing, because fishing, and you know, yoga, we're going to put it, I think we're going to put it up here. Bird watching, for me is the same as fishing. Very meditative, and it's nice to look at animals and stuff like that, get a deep appreciation for nature and how nature works, and how some birds, they come here, then they fly off, you know, at different, depending on the times. Oh, this bird is here during this season. I'll know that this bird will come back like in another 11 months because of, you know, migration and shit like that. Like, I know it's the exact, like that. For me, that's cool, but you don't get anything out of it. You don't get anything physical out of it. And you could argue that martial arts, reading, hiking, you don't get anything out of it, but you still get that knowledge out of it, I suppose. About trading, A lot more extreme, I suppose, than hiking. Fashion, I think it's good to have a fashion sense. I'm gonna put it actually at A tier. Having a good fashion sense, knowing how to dress in modern society, knowing how to be presentable, and that's depending on whatever style, for a lack of a better term, whatever niche you represent, whatever style fits you the best. I think it's an important thing. I think that most men have a problem with it, and they should sort of fix it. Yeah, I think A tier. Plus, it's good for getting women. It's a lot easier. Yeah. There's a common thing for the people wanting to get women, wanting to get the females. Thing you got to remember is you can either look jacked, which obviously you should look jacked, right? But you should also be fashionable. And generally, what I've seen is that the person who looks fashionable, like is within the trends, like has that broccoli haircut, those big trousers and a nice hoodie or some shit like that, like simple stuff, that looks presentable for our day and age, will get the girl more than the guy who's jacked but looks sloppy. Obviously, the guy who looks good and looks fit will get the girl, higher percentage of the time, but still, fashion is to put in the least amount of work is the best way to get there. A tier, I think, in my opinion. Extreme sports, it's good to push yourself. It's good to... I'm going to put it at the end, in between the end of A and the beginning of B. Sorry, the top point of B and the low point of A. Because I think it's good to do at least one really extreme sport in your life, like a skydiving, like something really crazy, just to test your limits of where you could go. And it gives you a perspective, I think, on life to know that there's a lot of things that are out of your control, like gravity, and shit that could go wrong at any second. And it also gets rid of a fear, which is good for you. I think it's a great thing, extreme sports. And that could be whatever extreme sport, like jumping off of high places and parachuting, even skiing. I don't think skiing is that dangerous, but, it could be hard for some people. Like doing a black slope. Finishing a black slope could be very rewarding for your mental, I think. Basketball. Basketball is very fun. If we're talking specifically about fun and bonding, for me, it's a great thing. It's the same thing with soccer. If soccer's on here, it would probably be with it too. A photograph. It's good. I think it's okay. Biking. Yeah, why not? Motorcycling, we'll put it with the same one with motorcycling. I think we're good. I think we got a good thing going. I don't want to make the video last too long. I will make a part 2 if you guys really want it. But hopefully you enjoyed this video, and more content against doom scrolling. Stop the doom scrolling hate will be coming. This was a nice little fun, light video. More serious videos should be on their way. But just enjoy yourself. Try to enjoy yourself without using your phone, without using any screens as much as possible for today. If I had to do an actionable step for you, after this video is on, turn off your computer, turn off your phone, go for a walk, 15 minutes, and just, appreciate life, look at life, and look at the beauty of either nature or the architecture, or hell, even the sky, like around wherever you live, even if you live in the worst of dumps, because I've been there too, or you live in one of the most beautiful cities in the world, or if you live in the countryside, if you live in a nice suburb, wherever you live, just take the time to appreciate the shit around you, right? Thank you so much for watching. Have yourselves a good day.